Yeah. So I wanted to touch base a little bit, piggyback back on some of the older videos that I did when I was talking about confidence. There's this issue that a lot of men have, and it's this feeling of being overlooked or being somewhat awkward in the social setting, right? You go out, you're around different folks, and they're engaging in conversation, and then you give your little 2 cents, and either folks kind of dismiss it, don't really listen to it, or they change the subject, or they kind of overtalk whatever it is that you're saying. And then all of a sudden you start to feel like you're invisible. Nobody is acknowledging you. You don't seem to fit in. A lot of that happens a lot with men, right? But I always talk about the fact that that's where confidence comes in. Because when you build up your confidence, then your whole aura changes, your stature changes. The way you come in is you come in as a force. And I'm not talking about imposing your will or imposing your opinion on people, but people can sense whether or not you're someone they should be really engaging with. They can sense whether or not you are somewhat of a standout, or maybe you should kind of fit in the conversation. It's almost like animals, dogs and stuff. They can sense, they smell fear, they smell happiness, they can smell, you know, whether or not you give off some anxiety. That's the same exact thing that you're doing when you come in these social situations. People automatically can sense that. They can feel it. They can, for lack of better words, smell it. They can tell whether or not you're a person that has some kind of confidence. So when you come in the conversation and then you spill your little 2 cents, and folks look at you like, what was this person being here for? Or, okay, yeah, we got what you said. Well, let me continue on the conversation. Then all of a sudden you feel dismissed. You feel you were rejected. No one cared about you being there. So what do you do to combat that? It all stems back to confidence, because when you're a confident individual, got some little animals flipping around. When you're a confident individual or have some sense of confidence, either for one, it's not going to bother you as much. Two, maybe folks are going to be responsive to you. Three, you just find some other engagement, some other individuals to engage with. Like, who said that you got to be a part of this particular conversation or these particular people? I mean, the world's got, what, 9 billion people in this world. And even in that social setting, there's multiple people. You will see, even when you go, when you were in high school and stuff like that, you had these little cliques, folks who hung out with those particular type of individuals. Okay. Doesn't mean that you have to be a part of that particular group that's talking. Nah, you ain't got to be a part of it. Go where your opinions may be valued. But understand, part of the reason why you have these issues where there may be some type of awkwardness in this social setting is because you don't really have it in yourself. You don't believe it in yourself that you should be in this position, that you should be listened to. you don't really believe it yourself. And that's a hard thing to overcome. If you don't overcome that, then you always are going to be that person who's sitting in the corner. You're always going to be that person who's invisible to other folks. You feel like you can't contribute anything. You feel that these folks are not going to give you the time of day. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to give you the time of day because they know you coming in insecure. You ain't secure about yourself. So this all comes back to confidence. You have to build on yourself. These animals coming around, they want to hear my conversation. They want to hear me talking to y'all. They all building up over here, man. Really just like sitting up here like it's a whole type of presentation that I'm giving to them. Anyway, this all stems from confidence. And you have to work on that. This day and age, you have to work on that. You got to start believing in yourself. You have to start having some type of self-worth. Because nobody else is going to give you that stage. Nobody else is going to believe who you are, who you think you are, or who you claiming to be when you don't believe it. It's like an imposter syndrome. You're trying to give off this sense of you're an important person or you're someone that folks should listen to or pay attention to. And really, you're fooling yourself because you really don't believe that yourself. So in these particular situations, when you get into where you're going to engage with a group of folks, you got to read the room. You got to listen to what folks are saying. Don't just come out with some wild willy, opinion that just completely doesn't even match up with what the conversations are, which some people tend to do that because, they just have difference of opinions. And that's fine. But you have to stand on that. You got to stand on that when you do present your opinion. But again, you should be listening to what the conversations are, where people are heading, get a feel for it, and feel whether or not this is the type of conversation or these are the type of people that you can engage with without feeling like you're completely awkward. You don't have to impose on folks. Because you impose, then you may get that backlash from people. And that's okay because you're coming into their group. They don't have to necessarily accept what it is that you're saying. You got to be able to try to find what group is going to fall in line with whatever it is that you can inject in. You can inject into. So, confidence. Work on your confidence. Work on who you are. That is the problem with a lot of men. They're not working on themselves. They don't believe who they are. So there's no way that people are going to accept you for whatever it is that you have that you're trying to give to the world. Nobody else is going to give you that. There's people out here who just completely blindly believe whatever some of these leaders say and celebrities say and stuff like that. And these celebrities don't necessarily believe it themselves, but they've got this false sense of confidence that it projects out to the world that, hey, there's somebody that you need to listen to. And that's why you got folks who are attracted to that, and they listen to the most foolish nonsense there is in the world. But it's because those folks have mastered the way of how to be projecting fake confidence. Mostly it's fake confidence. A lot of these guys don't have the real confidence, but they've did the fake it till you make it type stuff. And they've got there and they have this false sense of this confidence, this false sense of a reality, whatever alter ego that they created. They believe that and they stand on it. And you can't tell them nothing else different. You have to build something in you. I would prefer that it's more real confidence as opposed to fake confidence. But you got to stand on being able to be extremely confident so that way you don't get yourself knocked down. You can walk into a room, you can step into a conversation, and folks command that respect. You command that opinion. That's where you need to look at trying to be at. Not being overburdensome, not being somebody who's just going to kind of bogart and, hey, it's all about me, because you're not going to get nowhere with that. But someone who has some type of valid information, valid opinions that people are willing to listen to or engage with. It's like that, man. It's like that. So it all comes back to confidence. That's what you got to work on. All right? So on that note, I am going to go to the park like I normally do. But I just wanted to hit y'all and talk about this subject here with social interaction with folks. All right? I'm going to catch y'all cats on the next note. Peace out.